Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Circle of Knowledge podcast. I am your host, creator, and founder of Champion Circle, John Kovach Jr. I'm so excited for today's episode. All right, let's be real. I'm always excited, but this recent, lineup of guests and speakers on my podcast has really gotten me up out of bed in the morning, super excited to start my day and to conquer the world because they have given me so much inspiration and light. And also, I just can't wait to share their message with you. And this is what I do. I don't consider myself much of a consumer on social media. I consider myself a creator, but we all got to consume to create. And I love to flip through this fun little app called TikTok. And if you're not on TikTok, well, that's where the cool kids are. And not by cool kids, I mean like the misfits. Like this is where people can be themselves and have a really good time and build communities and relationships. And I've loved that about the app. So I'm scrolling through TikTok and I don't even know when it was. It was probably over a year and a half ago when I saw some really impressive and just really cool people who I thought, you know what, it'd be cool to follow these people. That's the first step. You take the button, you follow them. And then as soon as you move into the follow, you start learning more about these people. And it wasn't until recent I reached out to this incredible individual and I said, look, I've got to have you on my podcast. This is so cool what you're doing. You're an influencer in many ways, not just the quote unquote social media influencer, but you actually have influence over the world. You actually have a community of people who love you, who adore you, who look forward to your content, and they want to know what's going on in your life. And as an opportunity, I took upon myself to invite this person, and I'm so glad to have met them. I hope to continue building a friendship and so much more. But this is something I love about TikTok is that really above all the other platforms, these types of things can be possible. And anyways, I want to just share all that and prepare an introduction for today's guest speaker and podcaster on today's show. Before I do that, I want you guys to know that when I bring someone on this show, it's because I'm inspired by them. It's because I know they've got a story or more than one story. They've got a message. I consider trying to build a connection with them so I could get them on, future stages with Champion Circle and so much more. But really, at the end of the day, is I get to sit front row, literally front row, to a person who I know I get to learn from. And that's what the Circle of Knowledge is all about, to take the knowledge that you receive from others that you are inspired to take action on and do so. Take immediate action. So I'm always taking a 30 to 45 minute action break after each show to take and implement the things I learn. Let me tell you about this incredible human being. Danielle Claudio is an entrepreneur. She's a single mom of two, and she's the founder and president of Spread the Cheer USA and the Cheer Choice Awards, which I can't wait to learn more about and to help you guys understand and follow along and get to know this. A little bit about her. In December of 2020, she was going through a bit of a rough spot in her life. She had just gotten divorced. She was wanting to turn a negative situation into something a little bit more positive. So she vowed to personally help 3 families for Christmas. I mean, who does that? Turn their own hardships into, I need to serve people. How cool is that? She decided to make a video about it. And she posted it on her TikTok account to see if anyone else would wanted to get involved, and in hopes that she would be able to help more families. All along that, she had a lot of people helping, more than just 3. It was so successful and fulfilling that she decided to turn it into a 501c3. She formed a board, and now she has since then created the Cheer Choice Awards from all around, and she's just creating so much value through social media. The Cheer Choice Awards, which we'll get into in a little while, is an annual social media award show honoring the positive creators who are making a difference in their lives. And it's I'm excited to just introduce you guys to the one, the only, the amazing, my favorite, and one of my favorite TikTokers, Miss Danielle Claudio. What's going on?
That was such a beautiful introduction. And your intro, so beautiful. The intro to the entire podcast is so well done. I
Oh,
love it.
thank you. I'll tell my
Yeah.
team. They'll be glad to hear that. But
Yeah.
I always like to come in and like I want to be your hype man. Like I want
I need
Danielle
one
to
of
know.
those. Can you just follow me around and just hype
Done.
me up all day?
Just say I'm hired. I'm there.
Yeah. How
Oh,
funny.
well, I'm so glad you're here, Danielle, and truly face to face, live in front of everyone that I know. I did find you through TikTok. I was inspired by what you do. You're super entertaining, but you're also somebody who's building a community around you of positivity, and just your service-based attitude and who you are is everything I think all my listeners and myself want to surround ourselves with. And so compliments to you. That's
Thank
the
you.
ultimate reason why I wanted to get to know you. But I'd love for us to get to know you a little bit better. Would you
Are you
mind getting
sure? Are you sure?
this is the crossroad, right? It's like, all
Yeah, you're
right,
like, I don't know about her anymore.
well, I'd love to give you the mic and ask you, just can you tell us a little bit about your story? Where did you come from, and how is Danielle Claudio today? I'd love to learn.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I've always had a very strong support system. My parents are still married. They've been married so they've been together like 35 years. And, growing up, I had it was just me and my younger brother. So we grew up in a little town in San Diego, a little suburb called Valley Center. We moved around a couple times, but that's the majority where I grew up in California. So lots of fields, and you had to walk quite a ways to even get to like a neighbor's house. It was that vibe. But the cool thing was, and I never knew this growing up, that my parents didn't actually have a lot of money. Like we were technically we were probably considered poor, but I never felt that. You know, my childhood was amazing. I remember we had I always thought we owned our house growing up, but I came to find out later that my parents rented it. And we had groves of orange groves all surrounding the house. And so I was in heaven as a kid. Like I had free range to roam around. I remember I would like pick oranges and go sit on top of this giant boulder, which probably wasn't even that big. But when you're little, like everything seems way more massive. So I remember I would go up there, I'd pick oranges. I would just sit up there on the top of the boulder and just eat the oranges and watch the sun and the birds. And it was just an incredible, incredible childhood. Like I have no complaints. My parents made everything seem easy and like just amazing. So a huge support system there. I always growing up was very creative, into art, always cared about people and their feelings and how everyone was treated, and never super popular, never, the one that was the class valedictorian or super smart, but I was a people watcher. And so I always would, just watch people and what they're doing. And I think I learned a lot of lessons that way, just in life in general. So as a pretty good kid, pretty positive, pretty, strong support. I think I only got ever like busted at a party as a teenager one time. I wasn't drinking. I still don't. But yeah, so overall, in general, great childhood, great growing up. California was amazing. Moved to Montana, went to high school there in Great Falls, and then moved out to Colorado after high school. And I've been here pretty much ever since. So yeah.
As you and I are getting to know each other, we have very similar stories. In
Oh,
that
really?
I had I grew up I was born near Simi Valley, California.
Okay.
And early in my years, we moved to Fort Collins, Colorado, where I spent the rest of my years, high school and so
Yeah.
forth, and started my college career there. And same thing. I had an up and coming family where we weren't middle class, but we weren't like necessarily. We had a
Yeah.
roof over our head, but my mom
Right.
was the one working overtime to supplement our income so that we could, do fun things and special things together. But I love your story, because I think that what makes you unique, in that it is truly a great, just normal, relaxed, not a tragic childhood in and of itself. is that it's relatable to a huge population of America, and not just
Right.
America, like the world, but people need to know, like, it's okay. You don't have to have a traumatic past to have a good story. And I love that. I love that.
I agree. Definitely.
Did you,
Yeah.
were you the only child? Did you have siblings? Did
No,
you
so
grow up?
I do have a younger brother.
Oh, cool.
He lives in the area too. He's 3 years younger than me. And we've always been, close. So, I mean, I see him almost every weekend, and yeah, so he's amazing. We're kind of competitive with each other though, a little bit, but what brother and sister aren't, I guess, right?
Those
Do you have
darn, those darn
siblings?
younger siblings. They grow taller than us. They're stronger than us.
So you do have a younger brother, I assume.
I have a younger brother. I have 3 siblings. So I have an older sister, a younger brother, and a younger sister.
Oh wow, 4. That's a big family.
Yeah, a little too
Yeah.
much. I would have liked to have had more attention, but no, just kidding.
middle child. That's tough, man.
If I were to choose which one was more important, no, I'm just kidding.
That might be the trauma that you have there. That might be it.
So good. Well, thank you for telling us a little bit about your upbringing. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to learn a little bit more of, like, obviously you're an entrepreneur, you're a mom, you've got some really cool things, and those are sort of recent events that have transpired into incredible new visions that you're working on. But before we get there, what are some of the greatest challenges you've had to overcome in the last few years? I mean, great childhood, great family support, good environment. What have been some of your major challenges?
That's a great question. I personally, just like right off the top of my head, I think it's just finding where I was meant to be. And I've dabbled in so many different things throughout my career, and I honestly didn't even complete college. So I tried to go to college. I tried multiple times to go to college. I went for art originally. I was going to go to an art institute in Arizona. I didn't end up going. And so then I just went to a community college here. I was like, I'll just get my associates. I did almost 2 years, quit before I even finished. And then, because I didn't know what I wanted to do and what was my calling. I worked a lot of jobs, retail, all the way up, in the food industry to insurance, through like development and marketing. And then I got involved in martial arts. And so that kind of took me, martial arts I earned my 2nd degree black belt, and it was very creative. I was in the best shape of my life. And it took me from there to kind of just where I am today. There's a lot of story there. But interior design was all in there. I own a couple other businesses. So I've done a lot, but I think the thing is finding something that just calls to you. I knew I didn't want to get stuck, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I knew I didn't want to work a 9-to-5 job the rest of my life. And I knew that much. And I knew that I wanted to do something creative and something that was helping other people and that I loved. And so that's kind of where I am now. I feel like I'm there, but it took me a while to learn that.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're speaking our language, because first of all, I did end up finishing my college experience, and I did it mostly for my mother. But I don't regret the experience, though. I wish if I had those years back, I could have built so many more businesses or had an entrepreneurial journey a little earlier. But I love your story, because it's like speaking to the soul of a misfit collection of people who don't necessarily have to follow the mold of the world, but they have to look and find and seek out their own personal experiences. And that's inspiring to me, because again, when it comes down to really understanding what it is that you should be doing or what you want to be doing, you've got to fail. You've got to have experiences. You got to try multiple jobs. Society tries to label us as job hoppers, but no, we're just millennials. Like, we're just here to find some sort of fulfillment. And that's amazing that you had to go through so many different industries to try and find that. And
I've done a lot. I think we all have, though, right? Like, as an entrepreneur, you kind of do dabble, and that was my schooling. That was my lesson. I'm a people watcher, so I I learn way quicker and I'm way more efficient by just watching other people's mistakes and not having to hopefully go through them myself. So I think that's important if you're looking to be an entrepreneur or are one.
Yeah. And we talk a lot about entrepreneurs on this podcast, and we talk about how there's a great percentage of entrepreneurs who do have ADHD or ADD or something like that.
I think I do. Yeah. Undiagnosed, but probably.
Exactly. We're like, yeah, we kind of check all the boxes mentally. So cool. It becomes sort of a mental capacity to be one of our superpowers. And I love that. I think that's
maybe that is the superpower now. Maybe ADHD isn't really a thing. Maybe that's just what we're evolved to be now. We're just multitaskers and just more efficient that way.
Well, as one of your greatest fans on TikTok and social media, obviously I notice and I participate, and I'm always looking forward to your content. And I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but I want to get to the present day, what you're working on, learning about some of your businesses and what you've done. But before that, you were recently in the runnings for a magazine cover. Is that right?
Oh Lord. Yeah, I was in I actually made it to the finals in the Maxim magazine cover competition, which is so random, but I have done some modeling in the past. I was in commercials and TV and stuff a little bit, nothing crazy. But yeah, I did somehow get into that contest. I just entered, I got in, and thanks to, honestly, I couldn't have done any of it without social media because it came down to the public vote. And so without my amazing following, I would not even be in the competition. So, I think, I did do that. It's weird that I forgot that I even just did that, but thank you for reminding me.
Absolutely. No, I as a proud participant of the voting, I thought it was really fun and
thank you.
Encouraging. Thank you of course, yeah, it was really cool to see that. But again, only to confirm what you were telling us earlier in your story is that try everything. I mean, you've literally done, from restaurants to retail to anything, and a model on a cover of a magazine and so much more. It's like, literally just spread your wings and fly already, because you have some really cool things going on, and obviously I would assume that being a mother is a very, very important piece to your life as well. That
obviously,
no one gets to see much of that. So
yeah, I don't share a lot of stuff about my kids on social media just because I got an interesting following, but just to protect them. But yeah, being a mom, I have my kids, 95% of the time. So they're with me all the time. Right now, my daughter's at her very first overnight camp out, which is like not too far from me. So she's only like 10 minutes away, but still this is the first time she's ever spent the night somewhere, and she's there 2 nights in a row. So I don't see her till tomorrow morning. So it's been hard. My son's in kindergarten. So this is why I have the time right now to even do this. But yeah, they're amazing kids. They are just so smart. And so sometimes I'm like, feel like they're probably more intelligent than I am, which is a little, belittling on my, it just kind of puts me into perspective of like, okay, I don't have it all together. Like, I can't even help my daughter with her math. I'm like, maybe I should have finished college, but I mean, it's, I think we all go through that as parents, but yeah, they're my number one priority. I love them so much. So
yeah, I'm definitely impressed, because I've known the social media you, and, and then when I do a little bit of research, I get to know you on a personal level. And then I also I just see what you're able to do. And I realize there is no glass ceiling for Danielle. And I also realize that we need to give her some sort of title of America's super mom or something like that, because seriously, you're doing
the hardest job. It really is. And you have kids, right?
I don't yet.
You don't?
No, I've got 3 fur babies. They
that's a lot of work too. I got 2 of them too, somewhere running around. Yeah, no, kids are amazing. They change your life, but for the better. It's it's the most like everyone says, it really is the most rewarding
Yeah.
job, humbling job. It is so much work. It is every moment of every day you have to think about how your actions can affect those little lives. And so everything I do, is with my kids and their future in mind, and how are they looking at me, and how can I motivate them to grow up and achieve what they want to achieve. So everything I do is with that in mind.
Wow, again, we got to come up with some moniker for Danielle Claudio, America's Super Mom or something, because again, it's really impressive. And if anything, I keep hitting that home because I want my listeners to understand that this is a human being who has a lot of talent and God-given abilities, but also is somebody who's not letting the foot off the pedal. She's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, she's doing so many things in the world, and that's an impressive feat in and of itself, but she gets to use her platforms for success, and I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, social media has been such an incredible tool,
Right?
and I just feel bad for the people who aren't using that to their advantage right now, while it's so prevalent and so in our face. And it's just, so if you were to go look at my content right now, you'd be like, what is she doing? Like what is she doing? Some days I'm crazy, I'm silly, I'm sexy, I'm funny, I'm charitable and philanthropic. And then, I'm just all over the place, because that's literally who I am. Like that is me. So, but when it comes down to it, using, like you're doing now, John, is using, it as a tool to really grow a following and a base and a support system, so that when underneath it all, what I'm really trying to do is just help people and make a difference in the world. And so, that's if you do go check out any of my social media, or Spread the Cheer USA or Cheer Choice Awards, any of those platforms, you'll know that underneath it all, that's really what this is all about for me.
Incredible. And I look forward to perpetuating and also to promoting that as well. And I want to get into that, and we'll transition a little bit, but thank you for sharing that. And thank you for what you said. Tell us a little bit about that transition to being, I think now the founder and president of some of these organizations. Tell us a little bit about each one of these organizations, and especially how we can contribute, especially if Christmas time coming around is one of the major focuses of raising some capital for that. Please tell us a little bit more about some of the foundations you're running.
Yeah, we have a lot going on, and so besides what I have going on, in my everyday life and my businesses, we started this 501c3 called Spread the Cheer USA. I have an incredible board of 8 other individuals who have, just selflessly donated their time, their money, their skills to make this work. And I would like, if you don't mind, I'd like to literally call them out and shout them out on here, because they are incredible. So if you want to look up any of these people, I'll give you their ats too. So I have Jay, who's my vice president. His at is Chief Nitro. Brandon the Entertainer, Brandon Wayne, he is my director of communications. I have, let me just go down the list. We just brought on TikTok Mama 7, Trisha. She is her following and support system is insane. I think she just hit 4 million followers. So she just joined our board. She's incredible. I have who I call my wifey, Samantha Rose Keto. Sam, she is an amazing entrepreneur, business-minded, like us, very business-minded individual. I love her so much. She has just brought so much light and energy to our board. I have Kieran, who is now our secretary. She and our volunteer coordinator. She is always out talking to people. She's raising money. She's like a jack of all trades. She's doing everything all the time to try to just think of ways to help spread the cheer and help people. I have Jim Scordo, who's nice. Scords. I don't know if you know him, but he's such He's my, like, keeps me in line. He's my analytical brain. So he's always, he's the director of philanthropy. I'm sorry, he's the treasurer now. He was the director of philanthropy, but now we brought in Jill, who's Jillitiful, and she's taken over that role because she's really good at it. And time out with Josh. Josh, he is helping us with events and coordinating everything. So I love all of them. Shout out to them. Thank you guys for all the support. And they might even be in here watching. I don't know. But so to answer your question, John, so Spread the Cheer USA started, like you said, back in December of 2020. And it's literally just skyrocketed. It's gotten such an overwhelming response that I can't even put into words like how grateful I am for social media, because without it, it would never, and for my divorce technically, because I don't think I would have done it if I was still married, to be honest. But it is just skyrocketed into so many positive things. And I am just, I don't even really have the words to express how just happy I am that we're actually able to do good, and it's just growing every day. So there are so many things going on with Spread the Cheer. We're in full-fledged plan mode for the Cheer Choice Awards, which I will get into, but October 1st begins our nominations for our Thanksgiving campaign. And so any families in need, we're going to be accepting through October 1st through October 15th. And so they can go to our website at spreadthecheerusa.org. They can nominate themselves or another family. And we have a whole group of people, including ourselves, that go through and look at all those nominees and see what they need, see if it's something we can actually help them with. And then we get volunteers across the country to sign on to go help them get these items, whatever it may be, food, gifts, clothes, anything. And then we go to their front door across the country and we surprise them in person. So that happens for Thanksgiving. That also happens for Christmas. So nominations for our Thanksgiving campaign are October 1st through the 15th. Then like about the week before Thanksgiving is when we go out across and go help families. And then we do it again. So like November 1st through the 15th, I believe, is when our Christmas campaign nominations will open. And then we'll do the same thing for Christmas. So that's huge right now. And we need volunteers. We are in desperate need of more donations, monetary or in-kind donations, anything, literally anything. If any business or corporation or entrepreneur wants to partner with us in some way, they could even come with us and surprise families in person. So there's so many opportunities of ways people can help.
That's beautiful. I wanted to confirm it's spreadthecheer.us.
Spreadthecheerusa.org.
Okay. Spreadthecheerusa.org.
Yes.
Boom.
We are an official 501c3 nonprofit. So anything you do, is tax deductible for the most part. So yeah, I'm so excited. This is going to be our biggest one yet. We already have so many families reaching out that need help. And, we really can't do it without the support of others. So donations are crucial right now. But also the Cheer Choice Awards are coming up, and that's a huge fundraiser for us. All of the money donated, all the money raised from that goes right to Spread the Cheer USA. Okay. So, I don't pay myself from that nonprofit. Everything I've done has been volunteer. The board doesn't get paid. We are 100% volunteer. So that's how much it means to us to make sure that the money goes to help people who need it.
It's amazing, Danielle, because again, I come from the motivational speaking background. I speak on stages. I surround myself with that type of content. And some of the legends in my industry are a name that most people recognize if they are just familiar with nonfiction books and self-help stuff. But one of the names is a gentleman named Zig Ziglar. And Zig Ziglar left us with a quote, and it is, "You can have anything in this world if you help enough people get what they want first." And I've always believed that, because it's not the desire to gain something from giving, but it's that ultimately the more you give, you just inadvertently gain. And it's such a powerful principle and value. And you Danielle, wear it on your sleeve, because it is so cool to see that. You were trying to describe it a minute ago, and I could tell, just like, I don't know how to describe it other than I am fulfilled by it. Like, it drives me, and it drives a community of other people. And you named a bunch of names of people, which, by the way, congratulations to all of you. That's an amazing sounding group of people, and a board that keeps each other moving well. And that's the movement and the fulfillment that comes out of serving others. And I'm uplifted by that. That's a really, really impressive and a really cool thing, especially as we're sort of gearing towards the holidays. And I love that we're talking about this a month in advance. This is something I'm excited about.
Yeah, we have to. The holidays, I mean, they're already decorating with Christmas stuff in some of the stores. I just can't believe the time is just flying by. So yeah, we are in full gear to help as many families as we can. And the more donations, the more support we have, the more people we can help. And it really does make a difference. You know, if you want to, feel fulfilled in your life, volunteer. Come with me to surprise a family who is struggling, and look at the kids' faces when they open the door and they see all the wrapped Christmas presents that you have in your hands. There is nothing like that. I'm almost getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. It is incredible. So
it's amazing. Well, I know for sure I'll be looking for ways to get involved, and I'm super excited to push this out to the 30,000 listeners on the Circle of Knowledge podcast, because what good they can give and what they can share. I mean, take action and share this with anyone, and go check out any one of those social media channels and go follow some of their board members. I got to take a quick tangent and ask you a question, because we consider ourselves an entrepreneurial show, but we end up talking about subjects that matter more than building a business, which are people, charity, philanthropy, the principles that go into self-development so that you can build businesses, and so much more. With all that being said, it's very, very interesting to me that at the end of the day, we have the opportunity to serve other people. I'm curious for you, like, out of all the things going on, what is like one thing that ultimately gets you up out of bed in the morning, the thing that you're like super excited to go and do, and the thing that just like ignites your brain and your body to just go and do and serve? And what is that? What is the maybe one or two things that you think are driving you today?
I think, obviously besides my kids and all that, like in a interpersonal type of way, I think just growth, just challenging myself to see how far I can push myself to grow and to learn and to bring on new things into my life, and see how many things I can effectively accomplish. And I say effectively because, there's a lot of things that I've done that I have not accomplished, I feel. And so effectively accomplish. And I think that's really is what drives me. I've met so many interesting people recently just by putting myself out there, and just by, just waking up and not putting any self restrictions on myself. So, no limiting beliefs, very positive mindset. I've always tried to be like that. I've always tried to encourage others to shift their mindset. And I think I know it really does make a huge difference in the outcome of everything that happens in your life. Mm-hmm. So, if you're struggling, if you're waking up every day and saying, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't want to do this, I need coffee, I can't move without it unless I do this, like, that is a very debilitating mindset that will stop you and prohibit you from reaching your goals and your dreams. So I think, if you focus on your intention and where you want to be versus your limiting beliefs, then you'll eventually just wake up one day and you're there. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm just here now. I just stuck with it in my mind and I'm here. and anyone can do that.
Thank you for sharing that. That was extremely powerful. I'm going to take that clip and promote it everywhere. This is a microphone that we use on this.
I want one of those.
It's a tiny little microphone. I'll get you one. And this is what I do at this point. I drop the mic for Danielle. That was absolutely powerful. And thank you for sharing that. That was a message in a podcast in and of itself. So thank you for sharing that as well. I wanted to share one other thing too before we transition and talk a little bit more about the Cheer Choice Awards. Is that we talk about in business surrounding yourself with the right people, and I'm just so impressed again by the board that you just announced and that you just shared, and you read their names. And something that we do with my networking association is that we elect every year an individual to what we call our board of mentors, and our board of mentors is essentially the board that we create a fund for so that they can come in, teach, train, mentor, and help facilitate the progress of our organization. And I ultimately call it in many ways a mastermind. It's what I've dedicated my life to teaching, is the word mastermind, not the criminal kind, but the kind that uplifts creates value. And I'm just so excited to hear that you were excited about your board. I mean, every time you read a new person's name, you lit up. You're like, and so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh, and this person keeps me on track and da-da-da. And that is so cool, because we talk about that on the show. If you're not giving yourself the right people to help you stay on track, and if you're not surrounding yourself with the people who are ultimately going to accelerate the process for building your business with you, it's going to be a long, lonely journey. But there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. And that is really what Danielle was saying. And she was showing us with the exciting energy that she was explaining to us on the team.
I'm easily excited.
You and I would get along really well. It must be the ADD in all of us.
But. Yeah, probably.
Well, I'd love to ask you a little bit more about the Cheer Choice Awards and
I'm so excited.
Tell my listeners, what is it? What do you do? How do you nominate? How do you contribute? How do you fund it? Like let's learn a little bit more about that.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this year. I'm giddy. I feel like it's Christmas already. Yeah, we are working hard, like I said. And so the Cheer Choice Awards, I want to tell you everything right now, but we actually have a contest coming up to announce the venue, which starts this weekend and goes for the next week. So anyone who actually wants to participate, they just have to follow all of our social medias, Spread the Cheer USA. We're on all platforms, all of them, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. But also, you follow Spread the Cheer USA. You also follow the Cheer Choice Awards on all those platforms. And then you're going to be able to submit on our website your guess as to what the venue is. And if you get it right, you'll be entered into like a drawing with everyone else who gets it right to win 2 tickets to the show live, which is in April 2023. I could tell you that much. And we're gonna be announcing the venue soon. It is so exciting what we've worked out for this year. I can't even give you any official details about the venue. I'm going to stop before I ruin the contest. I'm going to stop, but I am going to tell you that the Cheer Choice Awards, we honor positivity on social media, period. We're not focused on negative anything. We want to really honor and showcase the people who are out there doing good, like you, John, people who are uplifting, motivating, positive, who are making a difference in 20 different categories is what we have now. So things like motivational, inspirational, things like dance, music, cooking, anything. We want to honor everybody. And it doesn't matter the size of your following. It doesn't matter if you've affected and impacted 2 lives or 1 million. We want to recognize that. And so that's what we've come up with. And not only are we doing that in a very positive way, but the whole show is a charity. It's a fundraiser to help more families. And so by everyone just participating, showing up, winning awards, talking about it, we're actually it's just a full circle, right? And we're getting a bigger circle and a bigger support and a bigger support and a bigger support until I'm hoping, will eventually be the biggest social media award show out there. I want to get it on TV. I want people to be able to be sitting at home streaming it on Netflix or wherever it's going to be. Cool. So that's my goal and my intention with this show. Right now, nominations are open. So you have, I think, like 34 more days left to nominate anyone on any platform. So as long as they're positive, as long as they're doing something good out there, making an impact, we want to know who they are. So you can go to cheerchoiceawards.com right now. Even you can go, it's a very simple form. You fill it out, you put and you can also nominate yourself. So John, have you nominated yourself yet?
Man, I haven't. What am I doing?
What the heck? You can go do it right now. So cheerchoiceawards.com. It's a very simple form. You'll see. You can also scroll through all of the current nominees that we have up. I think there's already like 500 and some people who have been nominated so far, and there's over a month left. So then what happens is everyone gets narrowed down. So everyone will go into the live public vote beginning on November 1st. They'll be voted on, and then they'll just move through the rounds. So based on what the public thinks and feels, they vote for you. And if they want to push you through to the next round, that's what will happen. And then top 5 in each category actually get invited to come to the live show on stage, where one of them will win an award. Last year, we had performances by like Paula Abdul, Sarah Hester Ross came. We had a few other celebrities like Tony Robbins' wife, Becky Robbins, ex-wife, I should say. Sorry, Becky. Becky Robbins, she's one of my friends now. I love her to death. We had Melissa Gioni from Dance Moms came and supported. So we had a really amazing turnout last year, and I know it's going to be just even more incredible this year. So it's a full weekend extravaganza, and every ticket purchase by just coming and showing up, again, goes to help spread the Cheer USA and support families. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm a sucker for really fun parties and
it's so fun
and charities and philanthropy. So sign me up. I'm all in. Let's do it.
You better be there and bring all of your friends.
Planning on it. That's so cool, Danielle. And I mean this. I'm not taking the opportunity to flatter you in any way. I think this is so cool, and how quickly something like this is taken off is evidence that it truly backs a purpose that creates value and connection, but also it does good in this world. And I am all about that. That is so cool and so impressive. But also, just to my listeners, again, take note. The smallest ideas in the midst of some of the greatest tragedies, whether it's, a pandemic, a divorce, or, even just like a questioning of where I need to be in this life. Danielle is a great example of taking an idea and perpetuating that into really a passion, and that creates so much more movement and good throughout this world. And that is something that is worth building. All the trinkets and widgets and inventions that people stress out about creating or not creating, there's so much more good that you can do by serving others. And that's just what I think of when I think of this interview. And I'm just really grateful for it, Danielle, because it really is cool of what you're doing. And I have to ask you, as one of the creators, and I'm sure you're on stage at some of the Cheer Choice Awards, what's some of your favorite moments about the Cheer Choice Awards?
Oh gosh. Well, last year was our first year, obviously, and we had it at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
Such a great hotel.
It was an incredible first venue. Like the MGM was great. There was a few hiccups for our first year. Our live stream sucked, and I hate to use the word sucked, but it did. We had a lot of, technical difficulties, to say the least. And so, I think my favorite part was just knowing that everyone that was there was having a good time, because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to fix everything and make sure everything was going as smoothly as possible. But I mean, just seeing everyone come together and, because when you're on social media, you're on a screen, and you like you said, you see these people every day, you learn something about them, but maybe not the whole truth about the person, or maybe not everything, and so when people get together from these different platforms and they see each other in person, it's just like such this like massive family vibe. Like, it's just really hard to describe,
Yeah.
people who have supported each other in so many ways over the years, and been creative together and built things together, are coming together now to do good and to support things and to support others. And there's just such this like just strengthening, empowering vibe that occurs at these events that you cannot get. I'm sure like your motivational speaking, those types of events, it's probably very similar. But the difference is these people already know each other,
Yeah.
and all of them do, or they're like, oh my God, did you see so-and-so's here? And, and although someone might have 10 million followers, it's still just such a, just again, like humbling experience, because we're all friends, and it just becomes this large, just like almost like family reunion feel, where it's just everyone is loving on each other, and it's just such great camaraderie. And I don't know, that's my favorite part overall. And I think this year, being the second year, I think we're going to blow people away. Like, I think people are going to be talking about this event for a very long time to come, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So I'm so excited about it. Just talking about it, I'm just so excited. I really hope everyone attends and participates. It's going to be amazing.
Well, I definitely don't want to get you in trouble, but I love just sitting here because I know she's going to leak a few cool things that we're not supposed to know yet, but I won't do that. I won't pressure you. But man, Danielle, this is empowering. And thank you for just sharing and doing so much to spread this cheer and joy. And I know deep down, I'm sure somewhere deep down inside you, there's a need for that. And you just described the community that is created as a result of this, and how it becomes family, and the reunions that come about. And I love that, because if it weren't for community, we would probably all suffer alone. Our lifespans would probably be a lot shorter. There would be less contentment, because truly, as humans, as much as we desire to be independent, we also need our community. And thank you for building one. Thank you for corralling a bunch of amazing people who can do good and put them in the same environment. And I love the words you used. You said that you can love on each other, right? And if you're not loving on people, then find more ways to do that, because there's empowering and impressive ways to create value in other people's lives. I want to ask you the golden question, which is, and it's a different golden question than other golden questions.
There's so many golden ones, though.
I know, it's golden. The golden question on the Circle of Knowledge podcast is, if you were to give any nugget of knowledge, life advice, or even just tell your younger self something that you now know, what would that be? What would you teach or share or advise the world, as if you were telling your younger self, or just a nugget of knowledge you feel like is super impactful that anyone should know?
I think just that you can do it. You can do it. Anyone, anytime, anywhere, no matter where you're at in your life, what you're doing, you can do it. It doesn't matter what it is. If you believe in yourself and you form a good support system, you can do it. It's like my favorite quote, and it's from Cinderella, but it's have courage and be kind. And if you can have courage within yourself, just to know that everything's going to be okay. Yeah, sure. There might be some hard days, there might be some struggles, or you may want to give up, but that's okay. Those are lessons. And if you can take those as lessons and just keep going, then you'll get there. And so I think that's just important to remember in all regards, in all aspects of your life.
Beautifully said. Thank you for sharing that. And as a result of that, let's challenge my listeners to take action. if there was one challenge today, what would you challenge them to take immediate action on based on our conversation, just based on anything? What would you say, like, start doing this today and your life will be, I don't know, better, XYZ, I don't know, but what's a challenge you love to give?
I think ask yourself, what is it that you want to accomplish? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are the things you've been putting off in your life? And then work towards that. Write it down, sketch it out, research it, become addicted to it, become so like enthralled in getting there that nothing can stop you. And so, and give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself, because again, it's not going to be easy, but that's the fun of it. That's the challenge. What else are you doing in life? What else are you doing? Life is so short. So don't take away opportunities from yourself when you can use every single day to progress. So you can do it. Everything you want, you can do it. And I am proof of that. I promise you, I am just an average person, but I have not given up. So just keep going.
Beautifully said. Danielle, I mean this with all sincerity. I would love to find opportunities to put you in front of my organizations and get you on stage to share this particular type of energy as well as your inspiration. I think so many people, and I can't wait to. I love the live show because we get to interact, and I know we get a few people here and there, which that'll grow. But on the audios, I'm getting emails, messages, and a lot of interaction through people who listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and a few other venues. But essentially, I can't wait to see the outcome of this particular conversation, as I know that majority of my followers are about 65 to 70% female entrepreneurs. And
yay! I love women supporting women.
I do too. And it's funny, but when I first got started speaking in motivational speaking, the group I spoke to were the female entrepreneurial groups. And I love that. I feel like I was raised in the professional world by true professional women. I grew up in the public relations industry, and if you guys know anything about public relations, it's 98% women. And we really couldn't fuel any of the media or any information in this world today without the amazing women entrepreneurs and the female professionals that really build this world. And so I'm really excited to get this out on the audio so that my listeners can connect with you, Danielle, and learn more about the organizations you're in charge of. I was typing in one thing for my team here and your organization, boom, and I put a bunch of your channels here.
Oh, thank you.
It's going to take up our faces, but I'm over this.
I'll just peer over it, just angrily.
We'll just sit here quietly. It's like whack-a-mole. Like, here, you go down, I'll go up.
No.
You guys go and follow Danielle and all of her organizations. It's Spread the Cheer USA, Cheer Choice Awards, Danielle Claudio, my favorite person to follow and watch on TikTok. All of that's in the chat section. All of this will be in the show notes. And go and send a nomination, create a donation, find ways to give back. And if you want, come and hang out with Danielle. And I'm going to find a way to get there because this is going to be kind of cool. Even if I have to sneak in and the back doors and be the janitor mopping the bathroom floors, I'll be there, whatever it takes to support you in this amazing cause. But I mean that, and I truly wanted to share that. And I'm so grateful for this conversation and all that's going to perpetuate.
Me too. Thank you so much for this whole podcast. I loved it. And I've been on a few podcasts, but I think this is one of my favorite ones. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate you saying that, unsolicited, and thank you very much. Danielle, obviously we've left our listeners with how to reach you, how to connect with you, how to learn more. I want them to go and follow you as much as I follow you on social media. And I look forward to more opportunities to connect and to perpetuate what you guys are doing. This is absolutely incredible. Thank you for what you shared on the Circle of Knowledge podcast. I hope to have you back on the show as we get
of course.
Your deadlines and some of the transformational things you guys will be doing with your show. I can't wait to support that and just be an advocate for all that you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Seriously. I'm good for it. I love this. This was amazing. I will share it on all my platforms as well. I think people need to follow you. You're an amazing individual, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. So.
Oh, well, shucks. Before I blush, I want to say thank you again, guys, for another amazing episode to Danielle Claudio, one of my favorite people on social media, and an influencer and an entrepreneur and a mom and a president and a creator, and so many things that she's doing to help and to improve the lives of families all over the world. This has been an awesome episode of the Circle of Knowledge podcast. Join us next time and tune in on Fridays where we do our live show, and then our podcast drops every Monday at noon where you'll be able to listen to the audio. I know you guys love that audio, and so as you do so, remember that everything you need is within you now. It just requires a little movement, a little action, and do so today, and you'll find yourself in a different place than before. With that being said, thank you, Danielle. I'll hit the outro button.
Thank you.